My name's Sankey. So, picking up from the last video where we talked about the last 4 bars of the 12-bar sequence, talking very much about tongue blocking, I just want to throw in some other licks and moves and things to think about for the more intermediate and advanced player as far as tongue blocking is concerned. So, there's some really cool things, I think, which you would have heard before, but breaking it down hopefully are useful. So the first thing that I want to talk about is just how you can use the timing, or use the tongue blocking to change the timing on the 5 chord and the 4 chord. So let's see, let's just show you what that sounds like. I'm using a C harmonica for this series, as usual, so we're in the key of G, cross position. So the first thing that's pretty simple to do, but adds a lot, would be to do something like this. So using that kind of William Clark timing to go across the beat. So and you can use that, of course, on the 4 chord. So that's a very William Clark thing to do. And again, the tongue blocking, if you try and do that move, lip pursing, the tonality of it, it doesn't sound the same, doesn't quite work as well. Try it, make up your own mind. So. The other thing, again, which is an expression point, is when we hit that draw 3 on the 4 chord. Now what we can do there is, you can hit it very cleanly, draw 3, half step bend. But also you can put a growl in there if you want, depending on the mood of the song and what sort of you're trying to convey, okay? So you can really put a lot of power into it. And again, you can do that tongue blocked just by changing your embouchure, if we've talked about in the other videos, to let the 4 reed bleed in a bit. And you can use that throat vibrato. So bringing those two things together, excuse me. Ew. Again, so able to take things up a level. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is 2 licks, which really, I think, are some of the nicest sequence of notes to play tongue blocking style. And Kim Wilson uses these all over the place, particularly if you listen to the album he did with Jimmy Rogers called Ludella. That album has these types of moves in it. So it sounds like this in the context. Now, the bit I'm talking about is this. So in the video before, the note sequence was blow 1, blow 4, draw 3, half step bend, and on to the 2. Now there's a very subtle change here, which you can barely hear, but I hope it comes across, is I'm putting a little draw 4, cheeky draw 4 from the blow 4 onto the draw 3. So I'm going, and the nuances you can put around that sequence is just endless, and Kim uses this all the time. So what you can do is you can play the transition from blow 1 to blow 4, draw 3 on one 12-bar sequence, but the next time you come around you can put that little draw 4 in to give it a bit more colour. To bring it round, just again in the context. So that's one cool move, and you can use that all over the place. The other variation of that is to go blow 1, blow 4, and then to go back to blow 3, and then hit the draw 3. So in a sense, you're landing on the draw 3 half step bend each time, but you're coming round at it, you're attacking it from a little passing note in 2 different places. So this one sounds like this. And this is a really cool thing about tongue blocking. You try this sequence of notes lip pursed and then compare it to tongue blocking, and again, make your own mind. There's a couple of things which really stand out on a tongue blocking point of view. So number 1 is that transition from that draw 5 note all the way down to the blow 1, and you're missing all the holes out in between because I'm tongue switching. So I'm tongue blocking this side on the 5 and then switching to the other side for the blow 1. Down. On this side. Then I'm switching sides again to that blow 4. And then I'm going to the blow 3, draw 3, half step bend. Now if you're doing that all lip pursed, you've got these big leaps, and it's very, very hard to keep your playing tidy and crisp, only lip pursing in that way, and that's to say nothing of all the advantages in terms of tone, tongue slaps, octaves, etc, etc. So again, I'm not advocating that you have to tongue block. It's up to you, and it's up to you the extent to which you tongue block. So some people are biased towards all tongue blocking. I tongue block 90-95%, and other people are sort of more balanced, more 50%. There's no right or wrong answer, but I think this sequence and these licks that I'm talking about here really do illustrate the benefits of tongue blocking. And those 2 licks in particular, you can then use them on the 1 chord. They're great little passing notes. So again, if we think about a turnaround, the last 2 bars of the 1 chord, you could go so you just do that little passing note. Once more. And round again, but just throwing in that little just makes the world of difference. Or the other one, and it's those little passing notes, those little details which make all the difference and really show how tongue blocking is just a wonderful, wonderful technique. So now if we start bringing it all together, if we wrap up all the different things that I've talked about in the last 5 videos, or 6 videos around tongue blocking on a 12-bar sequence, you should have a whole wealth of things that you can think about where you can take a 12-bar blues, if you're tongue blocking, onto a different level. So I'm just going to play through a couple of cycles just to give some examples of that. And so on. So I hope that's been useful, and we are now going to move on to a different subject, which is going to be playing country blues, which is quite a few people have asked me about. So I hope that's been useful. Thank you again for watching, and see you on the next video. Thank you.